to our 30 days of yoga.
Yes, and we're now on 28, so well done if you've stayed with us throughout all of this time. We have 2 more days to go.
Absolutely. So we're going to come back into some standing poses today, just one kind of standing pose, but the sequence that we're starting with is a sequence that you're used to now.
Okay. And just to remember, Adho Mukha Virasana we will start in, but just to remember that these routines are very short, very basic, but also they get you into the habit of a quick practice, and a quick practice is better than no practice, believe you me. So if you just do a little practice every day, then you're going to be able to carry on with your daily tasks with agility and hopefully a peaceful mind. So extending through to the heels with the buttocks, being aware of that nice length throughout the side waist. And as I've said before, it's a really nice way to start your practice. You can quieten the head because the head's down, and you can just become a little bit more attached and a little bit more aware of the breath. So soft inhalation, soft exhalation. We're coming from here into Adho Mukha Svanasana. So looking forward, tucking your toes under and coming up into your dog pose. So those of you who have been with us for the last few days, or even the whole of our Get Up and Go series, you'll realise that we practice this pose a lot. But every time you get on the mat, there's always something new to discover. So be sure that you're really firm in your palms and you're extending through your arms, lengthening through the sides of the waist and extending the abdomen towards your spine. Push those thighs back really strongly. Good. Now we're coming for the back bending action, so keep those legs absolutely straight and strong. The lift comes through the front of the body, look forward and extend forward. Press firmly into the palms and look up, chest up. You want to see that you reach the back of the pelvis towards the back of the legs. Roll your shoulders back and down and just be in this position for a few moments. Soft inhalation and exhalation. So be sure that you're extending through the legs as you come back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, dog head down. So go on, push those thigh bones back, press into your palms, lift the abdomen towards your spine. So from here we come for Uttanasana. So jump or step those feet towards your hands. And as we've said before, in Uttanasana, this is a very challenging fold for most beginners or people who have got tremendous tension or stiffness in their body. And quite often taking the hands to the floor is impossible. So just see that if you haven't got any yoga equipment, that you do put your hands onto your shins. The main thing is to keep this nice length through the spine. If the spine has that distorted look, then we know we have to make some adjustments to get a little bit of a deeper sensitivity within the body. You can see here Leo's demonstrating. So it is about being honest with your posture work and gradually unfolding it through time. Come into the full action if you're able to, otherwise stay in that position. Take your hands back and just let the head release down and just let the spine completely release. At the same time, keeping that lift and stability through the front thighs. Front thighs need to work very strongly in your forebends, lifting the abdomen. You've always got to hide that pubic plate into the body so that you get as much lift through the front thighs and the inner groins as possible. Coming out of the action, looking forward, taking the fingers forward, looking forward, and then placing your hands onto your pelvic rims and see if you can come. And stand in Tadasana. So always lovely to come into this very basic warm-up practice. And once you come out of Uttanasana, then come into your Tadasana, being aware of the base. Be sure you're taking the weight of the thighs back. And in Tadasana, when you start to take the thighs back, you feel that perhaps you're sticking those buttocks out a little. So once these frontal hip flexors, once these areas, yeah, you can see that, once these frontal hip flexors open, then you can really get that length through the centre of the body, and this area will start to release, and the tailbone will be your anchor. Soft inhalation, exhalation. Okay, so we're going to come for a lateral pose called Parsvakonasana. We have actually introduced this in some of our beginners' routines. So Parsvakonasana is when we come into the angled lateral action. So stand in the centre of your mat, take your fingers towards your chest and breathe, jump the legs wide. Yes, good. Now keep the arms extending out. So when the arms become really heavy, and they do as beginners, they become very heavy, you've got to reach all the way through the arm to the fingertips to create a little bit more length so the lightness will come. Turn the left foot in, the whole of your right foot and leg out. And again, see if you can re-establish that lift through the centre of the body. Get the rotation of the inner thigh to the outer. Press down into the feet so strongly and bend your front leg. So extending into this action. Now if you're really stiff in this pose, it's very difficult, then you can rest your wrist onto your thigh as a halfway position. Yeah. Otherwise, taking your front arm down to the outer side of the leg and extending up and extending over. So it's a tremendous extension throughout the whole of the body. Be sure that you ground from the outer hip to the outer foot bone. Lift from the frontal hip all the way through to the chest. And roll the chest up towards the ceiling so the chest becomes nice and open. The abdomen needs to lengthen from right to left. Soft inhalation, exhalation. And now taking a breath in and coming up. Turning the feet to face forward. Coming to your left side now. Turn your right foot in, the whole of your left foot and leg out. Re-establish that really nice lift. Get that rotation in the thigh. Ground down with your back leg. Lift up, breathe, and bend your front leg. Good. And for those of you who feel that you need to take your wrist to the top of the thigh, fine. Otherwise, extend all the way through to your Parsvakonasana action. And remember what we said on the other side. You've got to see that you push down with the outer hip. You've got to get the energy and the action and the stability coming from the outer hip to the outer foot bone. And then see that you are encouraging that chest opening. You can do this by moving that front thigh, that front left thigh into the arm, into the lower arm. Continue to get that action and rotate. Rotate from the farthest corner of your left abdomen all the way up towards your right. Breathe. Taking a breath in and now coming up. So it's a strong action to come out of the pose and turn the feet to face forward and bring the legs together. And just stand for a few moments in Tadasana. So the lateral poses, particularly the angle poses, get the body moving. They're really nice practices to continue evolving and unfolding and discovering. We're coming for the floor work now, so coming into a seated position. And we're going to show you Baddha Janu Sirsasana action. So you can see here that Leo's got a nice long bolster.
Okay, if you haven't got a bolster, you can always use folded towels, folded blankets. Most of us do need a bit of a lift in this pose. Some people won't, but it's rare, I think, in a class to find students who don't need any lift at all in this.
Yeah, absolutely. And the lift will help you to get that outward rotation with the legs.
We'll also need either a yoga belt, a tie or rope, so just to have something like that handy, it's going to be helpful.
So one of the actions in Dandasana, in this seated position, is to lift off of the pelvis. You've got to lift off those femurs. You've got to get that, yes, extension. And lift those lower ribs, extend up. So that you're creating a little bit of space for your Baddha. So bending the legs now and taking the legs so that the soles of the feet come together. What's really useful about the bolster is that the back of the thigh can move onto the bolster, so it gives the legs some support and some direction. If you're very open in the hips, then of course you won't need to sit so high, and that's fine. If you find that by holding onto your feet like Leo is here, that your back collapses completely, then this is quite useful to do. So Leo's just going to show you placing the belt around the foot bones. It makes a tremendous difference when you're trying to lift in the pose. You can see here you get the lift, you can hold on, the spine is extending. And this again will improve over time once these hip flexors and these very strong ligaments in the lower abdomen, in the groin area, start to extend and open.
And you might need to sit higher than I'm sitting here.
Yeah, that's true.
It's, a lot of students have got very stiff hips. I've got stiff hips myself. They're better than they were. But when you start out, it's really miserable if you've got tight hips and you're on a too low support. So if your knees are up here, just get yourself something higher to sit on.
Yes. And remember that you're practicing yoga to improve your hips, to get a little bit more movement. So if they are a little rigid, then it's not the reason why not to do.
Exactly.
Okay, so from here, you're going to keep that right leg in the Parsvakonasana action and straighten your left leg into a Janu Sirsasana action. So we're coming into the forward action. So it may be that we don't come completely into the classic pose, but what's very important here is that the straight leg is grounding down and that you're lifting up through the spine, so you're supporting the spine. So often in the classes we see people catching their feet and the back completely rounds, as Leo's demonstrating here. Well, this back is usually in a worse position than when you walk into the class, and we don't want that. We certainly don't want that. So holding on to the belt and pulling on the belt and lifting through your front chest, and see if you can maintain that as you start to walk your hands along the belt. So maybe you walk a little bit, you readjust, you lift up through the sideways, through the frontal chest region, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And if you can hold the size of the foot, then do so. But if that's just a step too far, then keep hold of your belt. There's always a starting point for everybody. Lift your sternum chest. So we're not coming into the complete classic action today. We're just showing you ways that you can slowly unfold the body over a period of time. Taking a breath in and coming up. So we take the legs back from Parsvakonasana. You remember this action. This is a very useful pose for the pelvis, for the hips. You can see it is opening. It's miserable when you're tight in the hips, as we've just said. It's a good one to do. It's a good TV pose if you're off the mat.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do this sitting, if you sit well back on your sofa. You can do this sitting on the sofa or sitting in front of your sofa.
Yes.
The sofa really supports the back nicely if you want to do that.
Yeah, so just bring the yoga into your life. Alright, so you keep your left leg there now and stretch your right leg. So same thing, you have to see that you're lifting nicely to start with. Placing your belt, holding onto your belt, and see that you lift up out of the pelvis. Make sure that that straight leg is absolutely straight and strong. And it will be helped if you're using the belt, because that will give you a little bit of traction to open the backs of the knees. Keep the lift through the side waist and then start to walk along that belt. Breathe. Keep walking along the belt. That's it. Lift your sternum chest. Keep walking along the belt. Baddha. Remember, a forward bend is about going up before going down. You have to keep that extension through the lower abdomen, supporting your spine, lifting through the inner face of the spine up towards the chest. So it's strong work. When you do it more accurately and the symmetry is there, then it's very strong work. Taking a breath in and now release it. We're coming towards the end of our practice now, so join us in Sukhasana, cross-leg position. As these practices are quite short, they are get up and go. This is how we're finishing our sequencing, but of course if you're aware of Shavasana, you're quite welcome to come into a Shavasana action, in a supine action, lying on your back.
So if you've got the time to do it, just have a little lie down and relax. Don't go off to sleep.
Yes.
But you know, you can have a little lie down and do your relaxation that way. We've discussed that in other videos.
Yes, we certainly have. Thank you for joining us today. Just be in your Sukhasana, just take a few deeper, longer inhalations.